So there are three implementations of CaseWare SmartSync. In the first implementation, you have just working papers with SmartSync installed on your computers. The second implementation is working papers with SmartSync with a local SmartSync server installation as well. And the third implementation is working papers with SmartSync in the CaseWare Collaborate environment. Now, the main differences between the three options are the server and the protocol. So in the first situation, working papers with SmartSync, you're working off your own Office file server, and the protocol is straight file share. So you don't have to actually install anything on top of installing working papers with SmartSync. We use the Windows file share, and if you're out of the Office and want to connect back to the parent file on your file server, you'd have to VPN back to your Office to make that connection. Any changes that you make, synchronize through. With the SmartSync server, we use Web Internet Information Services. This allows you to have an HTTP access, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is secure, back to the client files where they reside on your file server. It's the SmartSync server component that allows this direct access. VPN is not a requirement in this situation. However, it is an option depending on whether you want the SmartSync server to be inward-facing, meaning you won't see it from outside the Office, which would require a VPN, or outward-facing, meaning you'd be able to access it from outside the Office using straight HTTPS, and you wouldn't need the VPN option. The next implementation also takes you into CaseWare Cloud's CaseWare Collaborate apps. The SmartSync server is built into the CaseWare Cloud, and it's running on Internet Information Services and a SQL database. And you're using straight HTTPS in this situation. Now, in all three of these circumstances, SmartSync is built into the CaseWare Working Papers with SmartSync installation. There is an implementation within the options in CaseWare Working Papers that allows us to integrate with our SmartSync server or with our CaseWare Cloud Sync server. All of the files have either an online or offline state, and we'll talk about that in a little more detail coming up. The synchronization is done in real time, so as I'm making a change when I'm online, any change is going to be immediately propagated to the parent file and out to anyone else who is online with that parent file as well. I mentioned the protocol capabilities there already, and then we get down to our peer-to-peer situation. In the event you're not able to connect back to the parent file location, you still have the ability to connect to a peer. Another user on your team who happens to be sitting across the desk from you. You might have a hub with you that you can connect through, and you just nominate one individual as the peer in place of the parent and connect to them. Now, in that situation, the peer in place of the parent is acting as the parent file, and all synchronization changes flow through them. And that is also available in each of these three setup configurations.